Before we get into this video, I want to let you guys know that I have something that's going on that will help you get business credit. The link is below. It's a paid call. I'm not doing this for free because I want serious people who want to develop their personal credit and get business credit. Number one, you must have a FICO score of 700 and low utilization on your personal credit. If you fit those guidelines, go below, book the call, and I'll be talking to you soon. So let's go ahead and get into this video. What's going on? Let me go ahead and explain some stuff to you. But before you get into that, you can go to below and you can get into the art of holding, where we're going to teach you how to set up a holding company, teach you how to get business credit, and there's a payment plan. So go below, check that out. And also, we're going to be talking about something that you may be interested in this video. Let me go ahead and explain what I was doing for the last few weeks. We're running some ads and we're getting phone calls for business credit. And I'm going to say something. 95% of the people who booked a phone call were not qualified to get business credit. And I'm going to explain to you why they weren't qualified to get business credit. Number one, many of them didn't understand the credit system. And I understand that the internet is moving along and it's literally having people believe that you can make $35,000 a year and there's a bank that's going to give you a credit card with a $50,000 limit. I understand the internet is telling you that over and over. There was a video that was talking about you can get $75,000 from Chase. And here's the thing, and I do have my wallet on me. Okay, let me explain something to you, all right? There's one, and here's another one. All right, so these are two American Express credit cards, right? Okay, I have what's called a $50,000 pay over time limit on this card and this card. And I have another card, which is a charge card, which is actually a credit card. These are charge cards, which means that I can go past 50,000, but I would have to pay anything that's above 50,000 at the end of the month or once the statement's due, okay? And then I have another credit card, this bad boy right here, which has a $75,000 limit, and it's a credit card. All right, now, how did I get those cards? Let's kind of walk through the process. Anyone that's going to get business credit, and I want you to really listen to me, unless you have a company that's making $4, preferably $5 million a year in verifiable income, any business credit that you're going to get is going to come off of your personal credit report. So how did I get these cards with these high limits? And they're high. These limits are higher than the average person can get. I'm going to walk you through the process. Number one, I had great personal credit. My credit scores are like 775, 785, and 805. Now, how do I have such high personal credit scores? Number one, I don't really use my personal credit that much. I've actually done some tests. I let a personal credit card, I charged it up $10,000. I let that $10,000 report. My credit score came down 20 points. So I already know that if I use my personal credit cards in great detail, my score is going to crash. So what I have is a collection of business credit cards that I use for personal reasons, and I have a collection of business credit cards that I use for business credit, and I just keep them separate. Now, many of you will be like, well, how can you use your business credit cards for personal credit uses? I'm a YouTuber. This right here, I bought this with a business credit card. This is called Wardrobe. So if you have a business in today's world, there's so many things that you can use for personal credit, for business credit. It's very hard for them to determine what's not. So once again, I've been doing this for about 4 years. I've never had a problem. Because the big issue is you want to make sure that you pay your credit cards off. Because essentially these are business credit cards. They do not report to my personal credit report unless I default. And at that point, they'll all start reporting on my personal credit card because there's a personal guarantee, me, behind these cards. So let's go ahead and talk about how did I get such high limits? This watch right here, right? I bought it with, actually not this card, but I have another American Express Platinum, but I bought it with the Platinum. It was $51,000. And I also paid that credit card off a week later. And this is one of the reasons that I have these high limit credit cards, because I used a regular American Express. It was another business American Express. It didn't have a $50,000 pay over time limit. That limit on that card was $20,000, but I could spend $50,000. I paid it off. American Express recognized that, and they blessed me with 2 American Express charge cards with $50,000 pay over time limit, and an American Express charge card with a $75,000 limit. This is how I got these high credit card limits. I don't care what anyone on the internet tells you. If you're making $35,000 and have no record of having a high limit credit card, the chances of you be making $35 or $40 or even $50,000, be making $50,000 and get a credit card with a $50,000 limit are pretty slim to none. You must have the income. You must have the payment history to qualify for these high limit credit cards. And once again, I will tell you this, for a long time, I don't have that card on me, but I was using my Chase Sapphire credit card like a debit card. And I was using this card for everything. I was using it for business and stuff. And I would spend on the card and then literally pay it off 2 or 3 days later. I consistently did this for years before I got to the business credit cards. So this kept my personal credit looking groovy. And I just never really, and for a long time, I paid cash for cars and stuff. So I didn't really use my personal credit that much. Rule, listen to me. A bank will lend you money when you don't need it. When you need it, when you've done something foolish, like charge up all your personal credit cards, and then you go to the bank. And this is another issue that happened with people who were calling me. They had used their personal credit cards, they had maxed them out, and this right here actually took them out of the category to get business credit because their personal credit was highly utilized. They may have not had any bad credit, but the credit that they had was maxed out, and you were not going to get a business credit card from any bank with maxed out personal credit. It's just not happening. So this is one of the things that I saw. And another thing is, once again, credit scores. They would give me a credit score, and then when we got into it and we would look and see what their true credit score was, it was often wrong because they did not, because here's the thing. I believe you get what you pay for. So if you want to have an accurate credit score, my recommendation is myfico.com. MyFICO will give you your true FICO score, give you updated credit reports, and it's $29. I have MyFICO as a monthly subscription. I've been paying $39 a month. I don't even know for how many years, because essentially I know what my credit looks like. I know what my FICO credit score looks like. I know before I apply for a credit card if I'm going to get approved. I know this because I've studied this. So one of the things that we're recommending, and this is one of the things I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to do enhanced credit repair to properly set people up for business credit in the future. Now, what is this? Number one, there's a link below. You can book a call. The call is not free. It is $2.99. What you're going to get is the money management course for that $2.99. And then what you have to do is sign up for myfico.com before the call so we can actually look at your real credit reports and see what you are, so I can guide you on the things that you need to do to set yourself up for business credit or in the potential of credit repair. Because one of the things that I like to do is know what I'm getting myself into before. So once again, I don't expect this to be run over with phone calls, because most people, because this is where a lot of people get screwed in the credit repair game. And I'll be running the credit repair out of my Florida office. One of the things is that someone will like send them a link, they'll send some money, they'll update their IDs and all this other stuff, and then they're promised results within 90 days. Now, why doesn't this work? One of the things, remember what I was talking about the phone calls? How these people weren't really on top of their data. This is what I feel happens with personal credit repair. Number one, there's no evaluation. There's no one looking at your credit reports. There's no one talking to you, right? So there's no one actually going through the process with you and updating you on your credit report and helping you prepare your credit reports for business credit. Because here's something that I've like literally watched credit repair videos, and this is something that I rarely hear. If you have bad credit and you have collections and stuff on your credit report, right? You could take those off. Your credit score will not go up. Why? Because you do not have any good credit or recent good credit to bring your score up. This is when, it's just like, go ahead and get this stuff off, get this stuff off, get this stuff off. And essentially, I'll give you a scenario. Let's say you own a house and you had bad credit and you never were late on your house and you paid your house all the time. And then let's say you hire a credit repair agency and they wipe off all of the bad credit on your credit report. Because you have that housing payment and because you've never been late on your housing payment, your credit score will go up because you have an active credit component on your credit report. But let's go ahead and say you don't have a housing payment. Let's say you don't have any car payments. You have a whole bunch of trash on your credit report. You got repossessions, you got child support stuff. Then someone comes in and they wipe all that stuff off your credit report, right? So what will happen is it will look like you have brand new credit. You don't have bad credit, but you don't have any credit, and your credit score will not go up. So then you must consolidate, because this is one of the things I consistently see with credit repair. And one of the reasons that I've taken this high road of credit repair, because for me to talk to you about fixing your credit, you would have to spend the money to get the money management course. And then we would have to have a consultation. And then we would go over the first steps and all the things I would need to fix your credit. And then at the end of the first month, there will be a payment due. Because one of the things that I found out is a lot of people are getting scammed in the credit repair game because there's no accountability, there's no setup, there's no reasonings. They're just like, boom, give me the money, send me your ID, we'll work on your credit. And whether they work on your credit or not becomes debatable, because once again, let's kind of go back to me and these phone calls and all these people who were not prepared to have business credit. Number one, a lot of these people didn't understand the whole process, because to get business credit cards, number one, you must have a good personal credit report. That is key. And I've seen people go like 680. I'm gonna tell you, when I got these high limit credit cards, high limit, my credit score was at like 750. And that's what I had when I got this credit card with the $50,000 limit. So once again, this nonsense that you can have a 680 and you can already have utilized credit on your personal credit report, the banks may still give you a business credit card, but they're going to give you a low limit because you've already have a low credit score. You already have utilization on your personal credit. It's kind of like, I have a question for you, and I want you to answer this question. You have a friend that you personally know is bad with money, and this friend comes and asks you for a $1,500 loan. You got the $1,500. Question is, are you going to give this money to this person that you know is bad with money? Because this is pretty much the genesis of credit. You must have good money management systems on the personal side before you move to the business side. And once you get to the business side, this is where things dramatically change, because if you have good personal habits on the personal side with your credit, these matriculate to the business side. And this is one of the things I consistently saw, because literally I actually canceled the calls because we were booking 3 to 4 calls every day. And the vast majority of these people were unqualified. There was no way that I could take their credit reports, create an LLC for them, and walk them through getting business credit in the bank, because they were unqualified, because they didn't understand how credit works. They didn't understand how the banks worked. But once again, I understand where these notions come from. They're literally, I actually saw a video today. I'm not going to mention who made the video, but I know this video was 100% incorrect. Chase has a rule. It's called the 524 rule. If you've gotten 5 credit cards from anyone else other than Chase in the last 2 years, Chase will automatically deny you for a personal credit card, and they will deny you for a business credit card, depending upon what your credit report looks like. There have been some people who've been above the 524, and they've been able to go ahead and get a Chase Inc. credit card, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But typically, this person actually said that you could go ahead and get a business Chase Inc. credit card and be above 524. I would say your chances of getting that are about 75, 80% a no. There's maybe a 20% chance you could slide through, depending on what your other credit report looks like. But typically, you cannot, once you pass 524, you cannot get a personal credit card from Chase, and typically you cannot get a business credit card from Chase, and you cannot get any other of their business stuff. And I saw a credit, someone prepared that said that you could actually get this stuff, you can get all this. I was like, that's 100% false. How do I know? I bank with Chase. And every time I see one of these videos, I go to Chase and I talk to my business banker, who's like, once again, you're not going to get a line of credit from Chase unless, let's say, I give you an example. Let's say you are running a business through Chase, and your business has $1 million running through your business checking account every month, and you've been doing that for 3 years consistently. Chase may offer you something because they know how much money comes through your business checking account. But if Chase has no idea of what's coming through your checking account, Chase is not going to offer you anything on the business side, nothing. And to get a business line of credit from Chase, you must show minimum 1 year's tax return to get that line of credit. So once again, I'll say this from the top, unless you have a business making $45 million a year that you can prove, all of your business credit is going to generate off of your personal credit, and your personal credit must be tip-top shape for you to get it. And this is one of the things I'm consistently seeing, because literally I got on the phone, I've talked to a lot of people. I talked to maybe 40 people, and out of those 40, I was able to bring 6 into the program who were qualified to get business credit. 6 out of 40. And this is why I discontinued it, because, it costs money to run ads and stuff. And it didn't make sense to keep running this program when the ad was consistently drawing people who were unqualified that we couldn't do nothing with. Just didn't make sense to keep running it. So I suspended it, and we're getting ready to roll out on something else. But once again, your personal credit must be in tip-top shape for you to get business credit, i.e. business credit cards. There are some lines of credit that you can get. You can get a Marcus line of credit, which goes up to $30,000 without showing any tax documentations. So I have a GM card, which has a $25,000 limit. And then I have a Marcus line of credit, which has a $30,000 limit. Pretty easy to get, but once again, Marcus checks your TransUnion. My TransUnion has my highest FICO score, 805. That's the reason that I got such high limits from Marcus, because I had an 805 credit score and I had virtually no utilization of my personal credit. Once again, to get business credit, these high limits, you cannot be using a lot of your personal credit. I will tell you one trick that will work. If your credit is good enough where you can go out and get a line of credit or an installment loan and pay off all of your credit cards, that installment loan, even though, let's say you go out and you get a $50,000 installment loan and you pay off all your credit cards. Guess what? Even with that $50,000 installment loan on your credit report, your credit score will go up because you paid off all of your credit cards. And this is something that can happen if you're in a position where you can get those type of loans. But once again, you have to be careful. Now, this is one of the things that I'm getting ready to do. Right now, there's a link below. And if you are someone who wants to actually improve your personal credit to the point where you can get business credit, go below and there's a payment for this call. It's $299. What? You get the money management course. I put you in the money management course, and this is one of the things that you must go through. You must go ahead and enroll in my FICO so we can look at your true FICO scores and we can look at your credit reports so we can come up with a significant plan for you to get business credit. And then there will be an additional charge once we start working on your business credit. Because one of the things I consistently saw with the free calls is I had people with really, really bad credit signing up, and there was nothing we can do for these individuals. So once again, you must have good personal credit to access higher levels of business credit. And more importantly, you must have high spend, a record of spending money and paying it off with American Express. You know, I saw a girl and she's like, I got a $500,000 limit with my American Express Platinum. That girl was 100% lying out of her mouth. This is how American Express Platinums work. Essentially, you get an American Express Platinum. They kind of give you somewhat of a limit. It's not unlimited, and they will stop you once you reach that limit. And until you develop a habit of using the card and paying it off, that will reflect in a higher spending limit. They will not give you $500,000 out the gate because they don't know your income, they don't know your spending patterns, and it's just ridiculous how much people lie on the internet. All right, so this is the first video in the credit playlist. I'll be doing more credit. I'll be giving you real information about how to actually use your personal credit to actually get business credit. And the links below, once again, I don't expect a gold rush because people don't want to pay money for accurate, proper information. But there's a group of people out there who do want the right information, want real game plan, real strategies, and that link below is for that group of people. Okay, so there's a ton of videos here, right? There's a ton of videos, and you should watch all of these videos. Just pick your playlist and start watching these videos because each video will have value for you. So just right here, there should be some videos, a playlist, a recent video. Check those out. Before we get into this video, I want to let you guys know that I have something that's going on that will help you get business credit. The link is below. It's a paid call. I'm not doing this for free because I want serious people who want to develop their personal credit and get business credit. Number one, you must have a FICO score of 700 and low utilization on your personal credit. If you fit those guidelines, go below, book the call, and I'll be talking to you soon. So let's go ahead and get into this video.